So if you guys just wanted to start by just introducing yourselves and your position at the U of A and kind of what your background in intermedia is, that'd be cool.
Sure. I guess I'll go first.
Go ahead.
My name is Becky, and I'm an instructor at the U of A, and I teach in intermedia and drawing, and I'm also a practicing artist.
Awesome.
I am Eszter. I am a MFA candidate in intermedia, and I also TA in intermedia.
Awesome. Great. So my name is Gabby, and I'm a fourth-year undergraduate student here at the University of Alberta. And today we're just going to be talking a little bit about what the undergraduate intermedia program is like at the U of A, and getting a little bit of information about what the classes entail and what skills you can develop. So if you guys could just talk a little bit about what your experience has been at the U of A with intermedia and what you think that students coming into the program should know about what it is exactly, like a broad definition, that would be really useful.
Good. Eszter, do you want to go first for this one?
Okay. It has been great. It has been really, really great. It's a little bit of a smaller department, but I think that it's strong in that you're quite flexible and you're able to kind of push back around the formalities that exist in disciplined practices. There's just you're able to work cross mediums.
Awesome. Becky?
So my undergraduate degree was in drawing, and I came to the U of A to do my MFA as well in intermedia. And what I really liked about coming in to do my MFA in intermedia was that the flexibility for materials I was working with. You know, in drawing, I was thinking about embroidery as a practice, which is maybe like an untraditional drawing medium. And I really liked how it could intersection into intermedia. Whereas, you know, maybe there's not a fiber program, but intermedia can be draw, or, you know, embroidery could be drawing, it could be video, it could be performance. There's a lot of flexibility within, I think, the area. So that's something that I really like about intermedia as a program, is no matter where you're coming from, there's ways to build your interests into this program.
You go from drawing classes from like 240 and 340 at the U of A into an intermediate practice. So if you guys could just talk a little bit about what the difference between like a drawing class is and intermedia, that would be really beneficial.
For sure. I think that's a great question, because intermedia is such a broad thing that when you look at the word, it could mean so many things. And I think for me, or for when I'm teaching these courses, it means a few things. First of all, like an exploration of new media, which can be like sound, video, photography, sort of like technology-driven approaches. It's also based in like creative research or concepts. So you're really thinking through your ideas when you're creating art. And then I would also say like intersections. So there's ways of bringing in what you're interested in other areas and weaving it together. So if you like doing painting, but you also like doing performances, you can kind of weave those things together in intermedia.
Yeah, so true. Eszter, did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I totally agree, first of all. And second of all, I find that it was funny because I was doing kind of like, just a side note, but I was doing like research, and like intermedia, I think, came out like in the 70s as like a resistant kind of art movement. Not so much a movement, I guess, as it is a practice now. But it's almost, in my opinion, it's kind of like undoing things that you've learned, if that makes sense. And I find that it's, yeah, like Becky said, in terms of like performance and stuff, in my undergrad, I did it in printmaking. I was able to kind of be flexible and like print without a printing press and kind of like shift the parameters of like these kind of strict boundaries that exist in certain disciplines. And yeah, it's just cross media, and anything and everything counts.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, I think it's really interesting for me. I always found that intermedia lies within this place of like, anything is art if you say it is art. And so that was a really interesting thing to develop on within the class as well. So I know both of you guys are practicing artists outside of the program as well, and outside of your jobs teaching and TAing. But other than like the traditional like individual artists go show at a gallery jobs, what kind of other careers do you think await those who get involved with this program?
I'm thinking, aside from just being a practicing artist, but I think you can definitely go into teaching and instructing and doing a lot of research jobs as well as gallery jobs. But aside from that, because it's so broad, and like Becky mentioned, there's a lot of like technological kind of components to it in certain practices that people do, you're able to kind of go across so many different careers. Like you're able to, like, I don't know, work in tech, like app development, like all these kind of accelerations in technology. I think having a creative eye is becoming more valued now, and it's needed in a lot of areas.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. That in intermediate, you're not maybe developing yourself so much for a specific kind of job, but you're learning a lot of skills that can transfer into so many things. Like exactly what Eszter said, the use of technology, like video editing has, you know, infinite amounts of applications, or ability to think creatively and research, like those sort of things can apply to a lot of different jobs as well. So I think even though maybe there's not, you know, you could be an artist, you could be an instructor, you could work in a gallery, but there's also ways that you could expand that into anything that you're interested in.
Definitely. Yeah. I find that super applicable too. I'm looking to go into animation and like the entertainment industry. So the technological aspect has been really beneficial for Intermedia for me. So just speaking of kind of like the technical side of things, because I know like it is such a broad sort of class, this might be more of a question for Becky, but can you just talk a little bit about what technical skills you learn in each section of the class?
I think to kind of go back to what Eszter said about the great thing about it being a small program is that instructors can really work with the knowledge that you have. So if you come into an intermediate class and you've never done video editing, you have no concept of working with these sort of different technologies, as instructors, we'll work with you to develop those skills. So I think you can absolutely learn things like, video editing, working with sound, working with shooting video, working with photography. We definitely give you those sort of basic skills that you can apply to your intermediate practice. But then as well, if you come into a program and you already know a lot about technologies from other courses, as instructors, we can work with you to build off of that knowledge and strengthen your practice and teach you a little bit more to make your art practice even bigger and even better.
Awesome. And then just kind of to wrap things up, a lot of students like that are going to be seeing this video are, you know, going to be entering the program probably into first year or transferring. And what would be your advice in terms of like technical abilities for entering the intermediate program, but also the BFA program in general? Yeah, like what kind of things do you really recommend people have under their belt in terms of just like technical drawing skills, or like you were saying, technology, etc. If you can say like one or two things that you would really advise students to have.
This is going to be an abstract one, but I just think like a passion or a desire to make art, because technical things we can always work with, we can always teach you, you can always learn through programs, but what we really want is somebody who's excited about making art. I think that's maybe a bit more abstract, maybe not very helpful, but
no, I think that's super important. Yeah.
And then technically, like a little bit of experience in drawing is always great, because I think drawing it feeds into everything else you do, right? An ability to kind of sketch things out and work with things visually extends into intermedia for sure. So some basic drawing skills. And if you've worked with computers before, that's great, but maybe not necessary.
Okay.
Do you have anything to add, Eszter?
Yeah, I 100% agree. And especially I'm taking this from drawing from Becky's class from teaming with her, but drawing and just like mark making and just like form, like as long as you're like interested in things, you don't have to be like a perfect like realistic drawer. Like you can draw in so many other ways, and like drawing extends to like I think all of art practices, but just like creative thinking in general, and just like having ideas, and like Becky said again, like being excited about making, because it's, I don't know, I don't even know that much about technology, right? But I think coming here, there's like instructors that are willing to work with you one-on-one. And I think most people would have an interest in like creative practices anyways that are entering. So it's just a way to like broaden your ideas and like strengthen what you're already thinking about.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, awesome. This has been such a great conversation, you guys. Did you have anything you wanted to add before we log off here?
Intermedia is the best.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. And for people who are interested in Intermedia, you can enter into this class in your third year after taking your drawing courses. And yeah, it is a super awesome program. And it was really great talking to you guys. Thank you so much.